remember back in a time where at one point you would have to take the keys away from one of your grandparents or your great-grandparents because they couldn't drive anymore. Their mental faculties weren't there anymore. You had to be the power of attorney or write advanced directives for them because they just couldn't think for themselves anymore. They were just, old age just caught up with them and took them down the wrong path, and they're not the same person anymore. They can't clean up after themselves. And when you have that happen, you put them in adult care, or you find some sort of way to assist them, down the path, because at the end of the path is, their funeral. But when you have someone in Congress, the Senate, most notably, there's 2 people in the Senate right now that are actually 3. You got Fetterman, you have Mitch McConnell, and you have Dianne Feinstein. And Dianne Feinstein is part of this issue here. And also the turnip or the potato that's occupying the White House. Their mental faculties are gone. You don't want them making a hamburger for you. But yet, they're at the wheels of power, at the levers. It's just going, even though she's like, so Dianne Feinstein, 90 years old, cedes power of attorney to daughter, but still serves in Congress. The Democratic senator, who's the oldest member of Congress, has faced calls to resign after health complications kept her away from the Capitol for months earlier this year. Since returning to D.C., she has appeared frail and has had a number of public lapses. Feinstein handed over power of attorney to her daughter, 66 years old, Catherine Feinstein, in part to help handle legal battles over her late husband's Richard Bloom's estate. In one dispute, Catherine Feinstein's only child is at odds with Bloom's 3 daughters over the ownership of a luxury beach house owned by Feinstein, according to a paper. Isn't that interesting? They spent all this time in Congress working at the behest of us, apparently, allegedly, reaping billions upon billions of dollars, only to having the kids fight over a luxury goddamn beach house. These people don't serve you. They don't. They serve themselves. And secondarily, they serve their family. But they don't serve us. This is obviously apparent. If Dianne Feinstein had a ounce, a skosh, a modicum of self-reflection, she would resign immediately. But she's not going to. If Mitch McConnell had a modicum of self-respect, he would resign immediately. Same thing with Fetterman. Same thing with the potato. They would resign. But they can't. Why? Politics. That's it. There is no other scheme that I can think of right now that they're holding on because they just want to serve the people. No, they don't. No, they don't. They don't. They don't serve you. They don't serve me. They serve themselves and whatever grift they're attaching themselves to. In a separate lawsuit, the 2 families are feuding over Blum's life insurance, which Feinstein claims she needs to cover her increasing medical costs. Wait, but she's a multi-millionaire. She can't cover those costs herself without... Interesting. Feinstein, who represented California for over 30 years, announced earlier this year that she would not seek re-election in 2024. Several long-term colleagues have leaked to the press that her mental acuity has significantly declined, and it's quite apparent. Last week, the former San Francisco mayor had to be prompted several times by a colleague to say "I" when it was her turn to cast her vote on the $831 billion defense appropriations bill during a Senate Appropriations Committee hearing. Feinstein was briefly hospitalized in February for complications due to shingles. Or maybe, never mind. She was released to her San Francisco home where she recovered for the next 2 months. She returned to Washington in May, but seemed confused about her months-long absence when confronted by reporters, insisting that she had not left Congress to recover from the illness, but had been there voting the whole time. Proving to all of us that she's out of her goddamn fucking mind. Feinstein relies on staffers to push her wheelchair, remind her and how of her how and when she should vote and explain what is happening when she becomes confused, according to a New York Times report. So, yeah. This goes kind of a dovetails with my first video on I'm still voting for Trump or whatever. That I don't know. I don't know what else to say. There's no mechanism other than the 25th Amendment, but none of the Democrats are gonna, and the Republicans aren't going to either. They're just gonna let this demented, disgusting lib prog that's occupying a Senate seat in California, that's out of her frickin' mind, doesn't know where she's at, continue to make policies on the behalf of us, the citizens. We didn't elect her staffers to tell her where she's at and how to vote. We didn't tell her to do that. No, we didn't. We told people, the stupid dumbasses and lib progs in California voted that crypt keeper in to vote on their behalf, but they're not really voting. She's an empty vessel. She's a husk of a person. She's not there, apparently. She's sundown, just like the potato and Fetterman and McConnell. These people need to go. There needs to be an age limit. You know, at some point when you're a commercial pilot, you can't fly the plane anymore. I think it's like 68 years old. And then you can't be the captain or the pilot. You can be the first officer for an extra couple years, but that's it. But you cannot be the pilot, the captain in charge after, I think, like I said, I think it was 65 at one time. Maybe it's 68. I don't know. Don't remember quite well from this story, but you just because your mental faculties, your cognitive abilities do decline in your 60s or even in your 50s. So they don't want someone flying a commercial airline pilot or a commercial plane as a commercial airline pilot with 300 souls on board and then lose your goddamn mind and burn in or do something that causes a crash or an accident. Shouldn't this same policy be applied to Congress, where you got people who are being pushed around in wheelchairs, being told who to vote for, what to say, what they can't say? This is insane. But this is an insane world. We're in an insane country. This is a banana republic. So going forward, expect more of the same.